Part 2 of the slingshot. So looking at what we have, I think we should make a couple bad guys. Just capsule. Oh, yeah, we'll make them capsules. So that Z's got to be. We need a material. This will be bad guy material. We'll make them red because that's common. And that's probably good. I'm going to get rid of the capsule collider though, and I'm going to put on a box collider so they stand a little better. And this is a bad guy. So we need them to have a tag. Let's add a tag. We'll call it bad guy. And he will have this tag of bad guy. Now, that's pretty good. So, this guy can die. Let's add an FSM. And we'll call him health. And we are going to make an event called die. Just like that. And then here, if do we want to do it based off position? No. Let's get vector X, Y, Z. No. Well, maybe that is right. Okay, so get position of this guy. This is our position. And we need, okay, I guess I don't need the vector. I got the Y right there. No, because the Y will do that. Right. Vector. Okay, you know what? You know what would be the easiest thing to do for this? Wasn't planning on doing this, but I guess we will do this. Let's go PlayMaker, Tools, Custom Action Wizard. And we're going to call this Get Vector Up. And I'm going to stick this in vector 3. And we're going to save custom. There we have a script for get vector up. And all we're going to do, this will be very, 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 very simple, is we have a public FSM vector 3. We're going to call that up. And we have a public game object. What is the use for the default? Let's see. This guy right there. So we need a default value, the FSM owner default game object. You could also add that in too, but I'm not going to worry about that. So we have the game object, we need a vector up. And all I'm going to do is game object dot value owner option string game object dot game object dot value dot transform dot up. Alright, so okay, well, we're being silly about this apparently. Var, we're going to make a variable called game object, and it is going to be game object or user default. We'll just copy what these guys did there. Yeah, okay, as a game object. There, now we can just go our game object dot transform dot up. That's not going to work. Go dot transform. Oh, yes it is. I'm an idiot. So we also need a vector. Vector 3 upwards equals there. And then up dot value equals upwards. There we go. Super simple. Wasn't really actually planning on doing that, but it will work. Oh, we should do that in every frame. Public override on update. Let's just move that down here because we're going to need this every frame. Yeah, I mean it's not a well done action, but it's going to do its purpose. So we can now go vector 3 up. We just made, as long as it's in here. Wake up, late update event. Get vector up. So we need the owner, and we get our up position. And we are going to do a vector operator on that. Ba-doop. We're going to take the up and we are going to multiply it by -1, and we're going to call that down. Yeah, and this one doesn't have the every frame tick, but it does it automatically. It said it was kind of a poorly built thing, but anywho, so we have an up and a down. if we take the up and the down, get rid of our position, we don't need it, and we get the dot product, we get a value between -1 and 1. So if our dot is now is okay, if they're looking at each other, okay, well, let's do it this way. Let's just hit play and spin them around. So we have, oh, that one has that finish, right? We gotta get rid of that finish. And it's still 0. Alright, I'm just gonna edit that real quick. We don't want it to finish at all. We just want the updating vector up. I mean, I could have added a vector down there too. Would have almost been easier. So we have a vector up, right? That is our vector up. And we have a vector down. And now if I spin him, we get a dot. So we're -1. And we shouldn't be -1 because it's doing it on a different axis or something. Why is that being funny? Alright, let's just set his rotation back to 0. So our up is 1 on the y, makes sense. Our down is -1 on the y, makes sense. The dot product is -1. Yes, alright. It's because we're not. Okay, so our vector up, not versus our vector down. That's always going to be -1. It's like trying to see if our top and bottom are always, you know, on each side of us. So down is -1, period. Okay, so now we have -1, and as we spin it, this little value here is coming down. So now we're even-ish, right? And that is because we're, well, at 0. And if we go upside down, we're at a +1. Up, down, up, down. And you might be able to get this with rotation. I don't know if I've actually really tried with the rotation value. That would be our X. No, because that's going to give us an angle. I mean, I suppose you can do Euler angles. Yeah, that's just giving us an angle. That's not going to work. I don't want rotation. Getting the up. So if -1 is up and 0 we're laying flat over on the ground, anything less than 0 we don't want to die right away, because what if our guy's flipping around? So let's get rid of that and get speed. Now we can have two things here. So let's move this to the bottom. And we need a rigid body, so let's just stick one on there. And freeze rotation on the Z. Make that continuous. So speed every frame. Now let's do conditional expression. Move that to the bottom. So if speed and we need two ands there, and dot. Okay, well, if speed is less than, say, 2, and dot is less than 0, yeah, okay, that should work. So if that's true, then we should die. Right? So ultimately what we're saying is if this guy is doing his thing and he turns and he hits the ground and he sits too long, he needs to die. More or less if you knock him over. But if he's flying through the air, oh, that's shooting off right away. Did we write that wrong? Speed is greater than 2 and dot is less than 0. Why'd that even die there? We don't even have anything running. That's weird. Yeah, look at that, eh? There's nothing even telling it to go there. Unless deactivating a conditional expression doesn't actually work. Which would be, well, what? I don't know. I won't even comment on that. I'm just going to move him over there. We'll isolate him. He's isolated. No, he still goes over there. 3 dot get speed. Okay, well, then it wasn't this guy doing it. Unless a conditional expression is kind of always running. So that says true. But our dot is, speed is less than 2 and that's true. Our dot is less than 0 And that's true. We're, oh yeah, right, -1. So we need to be greater than 0. Now it's false. And if it goes, now it hits true. Okay, that makes more sense. So if we die, or well, so he spins, he falls, he dies. Right? But if he is up here, for example, and he's falling, he's picked up speed, now he spins upside down, he doesn't die, now he dies. So we have kind of a multiple conditional there. He has to not be moving too fast, and he has to be at least laying on his side or upside down. And if that's true, he's going to die. And if he dies, we will destroy him for now. We'll probably do a little more with him, with like adding a score or something like that. But for now, we're just going to destroy him. And okay, well, I almost kind of feel bad about this thing. So let's just do one little thing here, just in case you happen to use this and you like it. Then let's just touch it up a little bit. So we need let's do a left and a down and a right and a public, but not an FSM, bool every frame. Okay, so now we have left dot value equals go dot transform dot left dot right dot negative right. Fine, be that way. Times -1. And right, let me grant you can do that part in code in the PlayMaker portion of it, but we're already here, we might as well well, yeah, so right is right, left is negative right, up dot value, no, what am I doing? Down dot value equals go dot transform dot up times -1. There's now it's more of a multi-functional thing. So if you build this thing, it's actually will work half decent for you. So public override on enter. So we're going to do a small little thing here. So every frame, if every frame, and close that, just go down here. So if every frame actually no, let's just put this in the update. If every frame, if not every frame, put an exclamation mark at the top. Then we are going to finished. It's called finish? Yeah, it's just called finish. Alright. Yeah, a little better anyways. So now at least you can use it. We can say, hey, we want it every frame. You can get the left, right, up and down now. Right. But it'll still work. Oop, he blew up. And if we tick off every frame, he just gets it once and drops. I mean, still, you could do it on the... Well, it's going to cause issues if I don't. This stupid thing. Right, so what we're going to do is we're just going to take all this, copy, and paste. And I'm just going to take this up here. Actually, no, let's just stick this right here. There. If it's not every frame, it's going to just finish. So now it does it when it enters. It's also going to do it in its update. It's a little better. Okay, so now we got to tick on our every frame. Just like these guys. But anyway, so there's our getting our vector up. We can almost rename that too, but I'm not going to bother with that. So here now we have a capsule, which is an enemy that can die, and he has health. So we need just a bullet. Add FSM. And what we're going to do on this guy is we're going to add a collision event on collision enter with bad guy. Hit bad guy. And we're going to store the force and store the collider. And if float compare if force is greater than, say, 25, instant death. And if it's instant death, we need to send event to the collider health and die. Okay, so now if the bullet hits him pretty much directly on, he's just gonna die. So now we have a bit of an enemy. We should probably prefab him. And we have our blocks here, and right, we could, I don't know, build those out a bit. Like that. And we'll build another block here. Only this way I'm going to go like that. Hold my V. And we're going to go about halfway. Duplicate him again. Then we're going to these guys. And duplicate those. Take this guy and bring him up. Take him to like that. Grab him on that corner. Duplicate him again. And go to 12 and go like that. Okay, so now we have a bit of a enemy base. And we can take all of these guys and just stuff them in there. Try to keep things nice and neat and tidy. Take our bad guy and we're going to stick one, say, over here. One here. Another one there. Another one. No, we'll say there. Alright, so now we have this really awesome base. And if we fire stuff at it, apparently we don't aim very well. Right, so we have our puller. So let's bring that down and back. Oh, like direct hit there, eh? So as you see, these guys are falling off and stuff. We're going to have to put something down here to catch these things so they actually stop, because they're falling forever. They'll never actually die. This guy survived. But things are working. So, like I said, first thing we need to do is, I'm just going to go nuts, put it like that. There we go, something just to catch those things if they fall. Alright, so there's that. What are we doing for time? 32, we got a bit of time. Put him there, and let's create a bit of a UI and scale the screen size, and we're going to put in a text. Let's move them up and give them some fancy color, a nice color, big green. Scale them down to make them clear, and then stretch them out so we can see them. Alright, so now we got that. I'm going to stick him over here. And that's going to be our score. Sure. And then, let's create, just for the fun of it, a couple different bullets. Let's go with, I don't know, we'll say, we'll try to make 3 different bullets. We have our normal. We're going to have a, I don't know, super heavy, and a expander. And, well, no, let's not have a super heavy. He's kind of silly. Normal, expander, and we'll say even homing we could do. Yeah, sure, let's do homing. that'll be kind of neat. So there is normal and homing and expander. So that will allow us to we're going to change bullet style. So if it's pressed, we go dark green. Normal can be white. Highlighted can be a lighter green. Selected, lighter green. There we go. We'll just leave that for now. So we have those. We need a camera system as well. I don't know if we're going to build that this second. So we can fire things off. You can almost make this thing like massive. What else can we do quickly? So we have slingshot, and we know he gets a shot. Okay, well, we also have to alter this a bit. Just slightly. So we have no, actually we don't have to alter that. We just need to add to it. So we need an event here. Let's call it shooting. And if we get shooting, we need to take the polar, which we don't have a reference to. Just going to drag him in. There's our polar. So we could probably just use a move towards. Unless that needs physics. No, this doesn't need physics. So we need to move the polar to do we have move object, move towards 2. No. I mean, getting position's fine. It's not a big deal. Let's move object. There we go. Let's try that. So move object. We want to move the polar. No, we want to move the polar. Let's do this right. Damn it. Polar to the aim. Over, I don't know, say half a second. No delay. And on finish, oh, he'll do shot. So now, let's take this guy and do an alteration to him, which means we got no shooting is there. Shooting, send event, shooting. Okay, so now if our polar's there, if we put this, it should very poorly do that. So that needs to be way, 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 way quicker. Like, let's try that. 5 times faster. It's not bad. I think that can go a little quicker. 0.0 0.05. Want it to really snap. That's not right. Okay, we're going to slow it down because it's going to go too fast for the frames. Okay, yeah, I think it's going to be the best we're going to get for now. So, the other thing we need is when we get this event, we need to get pretty much all of this stuff to here. So we can just drag it over. We're going to move the object and get all of that. So we're going to move the object to the bottom, just in case. And then when we shoot, we just create an add force, right? Because we don't want to be doing the calculations as this thing's moving up. Obviously, that's silly, right? So there we have something like that. And now we can if we were to flick that again, much more. Look at that, everything's just falling. See, he dies, he stopped moving. Look at that guy, he's just hanging out. Okay, so I think the other thing we should do is move this thing, just in case you want to shoot more on an angle. That will allow it a little easier without having us to screw around with too much. And let's save and check time. Might have a couple minutes. Is there anything else I can really add quickly before we get into anything else? We have bad guys, we have canvas, we can move to a different scene, multiple levels, random generation, and obviously setting up touch controls. We got to do that after. I think that's probably pretty good. I mean, we covered some stuff. I mean, play the slingshot, and we're building a base and building enemies, and we even made a custom action in a very weird way, but we made one, and that's the important part. If you never made custom actions, it's might be intimidating at first, but it's a great tool. It really expands the power of PlayMaker. So I think that's probably good though for now, and I think we'll do another video tomorrow or the next day. I'll catch you guys later.